Hi guys, welcome back. We're bang on time because we got a new co-host. Hopefully for as for a few ones anyway. Is Will Fox. I run with Will in Kilkenny. Will has his um own coaching business. He's a sub 15 minute 5K runner. We go on a lot of runs and we be chatting. We went on a run on Saturday. We did a session together, and just on the cool down, I was like, I must ask him now when will he come on. So Will, thanks a million for being on.
Of course. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. And Laurie is one of our long-standing guests. I got a co-host now, Laurie.
Oh, great.
Will, yeah, I know, yeah. To come on. I might actually do Q&A with you, Laurie. Someone's asking about diet and stuff. I know you're more like a dietitian kind of, but you've been in the running space for a long time. So might actually get people to put in questions about diet and stuff like that and see because you're always my go-to person for nutrition. And I just had one on diet, creatine, etc. It'd be good to kind of get an overview on what you think maybe next week or whenever.
Sure,
Um,
sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Brilliant.
just a warning today, I may have to jump because I've got a food order coming and I can't leave it on the porch because it's -13 out today.
Be freezing. She's in Canada. Okay, yeah,
Well,
no. So, all right, we'll go through. We're going to do through the questions first, and then I had a couple little things. So the first one was, hope to join. Here are some questions. Running Seville this weekend. Training consistent, although some of my target races and sessions were a bit slower compared to last year. Debating, do I go all in or alter my target? Obviously, my target pace. Also, any advice, pacing appreciated. Uh, Also, I've K reps this Wednesday. Should I do the full session or dial it back for the taper? Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Um, if that's in our if you're doing our program, Mike, that should be dialed back anyway. That shouldn't be too many. So the week of a run, the week of a marathon, especially because you're going to have like a down week, I would be go easier rather than harder. Would be my advice. Um, so yeah, if you have a lot of keys, if you're looking at something and you're thinking, is it too much? It probably is. What do you think there, Will?
yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I mean, if I'm sure if he's doing your plan anyway, the taper is probably going to be well justified, especially if. Sorry, is this for a half or a full?
It looks a full Seville marathon.
Okay,
I'd have to
No, it's for a half.
half perfect.
it's for a
Yeah,
Okay.
it
half.
is. Yeah,
Are
Okay.
yeah.
you doing Mikey, are you doing our plan?
I am. I am indeed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So it shouldn't be how many Ks are there? I'll just look this up when
I
I'm
think
chatting.
it could be five. And there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me I just looked this up.
1 or 10. Yeah, 5 by a K at zone three.
Yeah. Um Look, you could dial it back to four, but like five by a K and it's the Sunday, is it? Yeah, let me just
Yeah, it's Sunday.
I'm gonna bring up your I'll bring up the actual um I'll bring up the actual one now. Mike. Yeah, 5 by a K is probably not a bad one pre-race.
Hmm.
Um, because it's at like kind of nearly at like race pace or a little bit below it. The only thing I'd still probably do the 5 by a K. So you're doing your warm up, um, you're doing your warm up drills. I would do it like the K's at kind of like target pace or a little even bit lower.
Okay.
Um, I wouldn't be pushing them. So I'd be going slower and keeping the K's in, I think. It just is a nice like aerobic development
Yeah, bit of
without
sharp. Keep the sharpness. Yeah.
yeah, even if you want to go four, but just don't go super hard. And then I see so it's basically the session is 12, 15 minute warm-up drills and strides, 5 by K at zone
Yeah.
three pace with 75 seconds recovery. Don't worry about getting into the heart rate, just more about the kind of marathon, half marathon pace that you normally do.
Yes.
Two and a half recovery, and then there's 4 by 200, like 4 by 30 seconds, easy. Yeah, so like the race is going to be 21K, so you're talking like a quarter of that distance.
Yeah. Should be
So
manageable.
yeah, and I'd probably keep it that like it should feel like flowy. It should feel like I'm easy here as
Hmm.
opposed to like going hard.
Yeah.
um but but you still want a little bit of it, not like a hard stimulus, because look, there's
Yeah.
if I was feeling rough after the fourth, I'd probably leave it, like, because you're not going to gain any fitness. But similarly, I think 5 is going to be fine. But yeah,
Perfect.
I'd leave it at 4, and I'd rather if the 4 were like slower, more relaxed. The other thing is, it's probably a good one to chat about now, is like we get like taper madness or taper tantrums where it's like you'll never feel good. You're probably saying,
Yeah.
well, I've never feel good before a race, ever, ever, ever. Like the session is always harder because it's a hard thing. You're telling your body, I want to do this, but then your body knows, well, I need to save energy. So it's a really hard like thing for it to do, to feel comfortable to run, but also be saving energy. It's like that that contrast is really hard to get. So don't worry if you feel crap on that. I always feel crap the
That's
week of a race.
that's good to know. Like I did the 2K reps last week, and I was just off. Like, you know, I was just kind
Yeah.
of going, and I was thinking to myself, God, could I sustain this pace for a half marathon? I was kind of going, I could barely do the 2K. It
Yeah.
just felt like bizarrely kind of like, oh, God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Mike.
it could
I've
be
had
just
so many sessions where I'm like running a K for a 5K distance, like the pace going, there's no chance I could put 5 of these together.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it is a mad thing when you start freshening up, when you put it in, you can do stuff that you just can't do in training at
Mhm.
all. So no, I wouldn't worry, especially like a week, 10 days out. It's like you start like trying to control yourself a little bit more.
yeah.
All right, the second part of that then, like, yeah, if the sessions, I wouldn't worry about the sessions too much. I would
Yeah.
go out on feel, I think, a little bit more.
Okay.
Then I think you sometimes know if you're reaching. That if you know you're reaching, there's no point going out, because like it's a long way, right? Say hopefully what you
Mhm.
might find is go on feel, go on like, should feel like that thresholdy pace.
Yes.
Like that, those 5 by K, it should really feel like that kind of pace at the start.
Yeah.
And if halfway through you're like, God, I'm feeling all right, then you can start really like picking it back up. Yeah, I think sometimes if the races coming up to it haven't been as good, or the training, I think always go a little bit easier and think, can you come home fast, rather than go out at like, because I have to hit this, like say what was your target again? Let me bring it up.
Just sub 80. Like the last couple of years would have been there and thereabouts, you know.
Yeah.
But then I'm comparing races, and I'm kind of going, God, I did the Clonmel 4 mile, and it was about 20 seconds off pace compared to last year. And you're
Yeah,
kind of
like
going,
look at road races and thing. Like, will tell you that, like, look, depending on how you are,
Yeah.
is going to be different. They made the course this year started more on an uphill, I'm pretty sure, because it had to finish. So like,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
they pulled it back. Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine as well, like, I mean, if you're coming into that half, that was probably your main priority as well. And you're probably not going to have the likes of a taper as you would have had for the 4 mile as well. So I suppose we can't taper into them all the same, or else there's no time to build fitness at all.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
like I definitely wouldn't be reading into 20 seconds down on time, to be honest. And with regards to your session, you were saying you didn't feel great on a 3 by 2K. I don't think I've ever done. I'd be predominantly 5K, but I've never done a session at 5K pace a week out from a race and actually felt all right. It's always like, how in the Lord am I actually going to maintain this pace?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but you'd be surprised what a taper can do. Like, I mean, that's what a taper is for as well. You know, like we can't be fresh all the time, or again, like we don't have time to build fitness otherwise. You know, so I think when
Yeah.
that taper happens and when it actually comes to race day, the adrenaline's going. You've people
Yeah.
passing you. You're
Yeah.
passing by people. There's a bit of momentum. It'll be a lot easier to hold on to pace. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Like the start is manic. Like it's just crowds, and it's
Yeah.
fast and rapid. Like I'd be swept along for
Yeah.
the first bit without even thinking about it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
I'd be
that's-
definitely inclined to say the same. Sorry, Owen, go on.
go finish. Well, sorry.
I was going to say I'd definitely be the same as you, Owen, in the sense that like I'd always be a big advocate as well for telling people to go off how they feel as such as well. Like, I mean, at a half marathon as well, I mean, negative splits I'd say is the way to go, or even. I definitely wouldn't be running positive splits. I mean, like your you're probably not going to run your half marathon the first 5K, but you can certainly ruin it in the first 5K, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I definitely be going off like whatever your pace is. For example, let's say if you're looking to run sub 80, whatever that is, maybe I'm actually not even sure off the top of my head, 4 O's or 4:10 per
Yeah.
K, I'd be inclined to go out maybe the first 5K at whatever 4:15, 4:20, maybe 5-10 seconds off that, and allow the body to feel good in the early
Yes.
stages, you know, and gather momentum as the race actually proceeds.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Just kind of be a bit conservative and dial it in maybe after 5K, kind of get into a bit of a rhythm and
Yeah.
roll with it.
And what you'll find, I think,
Yeah.
as well, I totally agree with Will. Like, looking back over the plan we gave you, like he's right. You don't taper into a race. So, like, depending on, and a 4 miler on Stevens' day, the day after Christmas, you could have a good Christmas, a bad Christmas. Like, you could be,
There's a lot of variables there.
A lot of variables there. So I think I would be. I go slightly conservative on the first bit and judge it after, like, and like, with a half marathon, it's going to be up and down and how you're feeling.
Yes.
So judge it
Yeah.
after a little while in, like, yeah, 5K is enough. I when you were saying that, I thought, oh God, maybe these races are going worse and the sessions. But if you've been clicking them, like, for example, right, there's two things. One, in terms of sessions, there's a session I would do 4 by a mile. So my 5K time is like 4:30 per mile, I think. And if I could do a session at 4:40 per mile off a 2-minute recovery, I was in shape to then put 3 of them 10 seconds faster back to back. And I swear, like, I've had sessions where I've been sprinting to get that last one in 4:40. So when I do my last one in 4:40, I'm like, off a 2-minute recovery, I'm like, how in God's name do I ever put like 3 of these back to back with no recovery? So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Sometimes it's getting in. And the second thing I was going to say is, I did before they got rid of all the park run records, I had the park run record in Kilkenny, right? And it was cancelled the week before. So what I just did was a threshold around it. So I did threshold pace for, like, say 5-6 minutes, and then a minute recovery, threshold, and then I started doing like minute on, minute off at the pace that I thought I'd have to hit. So you just getting used to the loop. And I think I did 5K the distance with little breaks in between it. And like, on the training session, I was like way down on the paces. The minutes on were fine. I was like, geez, yeah, that's tough. The day of the race, a week later, like, the first mile in, I was trying to just be in like threshold. That's why I'm saying threshold effort. And I did, as Will say, I consciously, though, if I was going faster, I'd slow myself down. So I'm not going past the 80 minute. And I was like, Jesus, I hit like faster than I wanted for the first mile. And I was like, that felt like threshold. And then obviously I had to start digging in. So you won't know until the race. So go out a little bit conservative, like, click the mile and see how is that feeling. And then, then roll from there. It's always easier to kind of come home. I wouldn't be super conservative either. I definitely wouldn't go out fast, but I wouldn't, because that these are gone. If I went through the first, say, mile and it just happens to be fast and I'm feeling, Jesus, I'm hard, readjust then. As Will said, drop back a couple of like 5 seconds then for the next like 2 miles. Now we're 5K in and we're like a quarter of the way there, so we can start building through it. But don't judge. Like, I remember I ran crap and I was cooling down, and me and my Niall Tui, well, we were laughing. We were like, oh yeah, I knew I was going to run crap. I was feeling amazing beforehand, like, so.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Like, it happens that you're going to feel crap. So look, you're seeing nothing there that me or Will wouldn't have felt for any race, basically.
Good stuff. No, we'll go first.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, folks. Thanks.
Best of luck. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Best of luck,
I will
Mike.
indeed. Thank you.
Okay.
Cheers, folks.
No
Bye-bye.
hassle.
I'm training for my first marathon, Rome, in March. I'm up to 17 miles for my long run. That's really good. But I'm finding my shoulder and upper back quite stiff following the long run. I remember experiencing this many years ago when I first started running, and I expect it just from fatigue. Can you suggest any specific strengthening exercises which might help. Many thanks, Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth, if you're doing this right, I think it is just you're getting used to a lot more load. Two things I would say: go into the shoulder, go into the mobility section in the shoulder. It's in the shoulder section in the mobility, and you'll have some like upper body releases. I think that will help, like foam rolling and a couple of releases. Also, just working on like breath work afterwards. So lying on your stomach, breathe into your stomach and relax. A lot of times, and then just keeping up the Pilates and core work especially is important, because sometimes when we're losing that stability at the very end, we can start trying to like we're trying to hold us rigid at the shoulders. It's like the same when people aren't moving through here and they're like looking at like loads of arm drills, and the actual action is if they were more stable through the core. I wish this zoomed out more. If they were more stable through the core, the arms would be able to go freer. But because we're moving here, we need to be more rigid up here. So look, one, as you're building, this is going to happen. If you're up to 17 miles already, like you're only in March, yeah, so you're getting into the bulk of it. You're going to have stiffnesses. So I just release off, use the foam roller, and look at some of those videos on shoulder mobility. Stay doing the Pilates. It's going to help the core, which will naturally allow, like, you don't have to then get that stability through the shoulders. It's coming more through the core, so it allows your upper body to be a bit more relaxed. Focus on breathing into the stomach, like getting the diaphragm back down. Just lying on your stomach, breathe into the stomach, just relax down. That kind of gets the diaphragm moving after those long runs. And then lastly, just kind of accept it. Like, as you're building, this might be an issue for you. This kind of an area of weakness. If you're increasing your mileage that much, it can happen. Okay. Next one. All right. Next one, James, this was your question I'll go for, is what's the easiest way to determine max heart rate? When racing, would you follow pace or heart rate on your watch? So this comes back to what we were just saying with Mike. I don't follow pace. Maybe Will's a different. It's very rare I'll follow pace in a race. The only race I can ever remember following pace on is when I was trying to break 30 minutes. I actually just intentionally went out at like 3 minute per K, 3 minute per K, 3 minute per K. And like I was saying there, then I was able to get a little bit, not much more aggressive, just a little bit more aggressive to finish sub 30 minutes. Every other race I've done, I'm doing it nearly purely on feel. I'm trying to go out relaxed at the start, relatively relaxed, like thresholdy type of pace. If it's 5K, 10K, half marathon, like if I've been practicing like those paces or that feel of heart rate, but I'm not actually trying to hit the heart rate. So if I bring up that 5K I did, which you think is a very fast race, the first mile, I was like trying to do it the equivalent of what the start threshold felt like. So me and Will did a session just on the weekend. It was a good one. We did 12 minutes to start with at like zone 3. Then it was 3 by 4 minutes at zone 4, like threshold. Then a minute on, minute off. If I was even doing a 5K, I would go out what felt like the 3 by 4 minutes, because it's like you're picking it up, but you're still trying to be relaxed. And then the second half of the race, I'm just trying to like pick off people. Like we need to trust ourselves, like subconsciously, or whatever the right word is, that like, yeah, your body will know what to do. It'll know naturally if you need to speed up or slow down. And I wouldn't get overly obsessed with times, because sometimes you can be way faster than you thought you were and you can panic. Sometimes, especially on road races, it can be like an uphill start and you're slower, and again you panic. Where if you're like just in the race trying to be relaxed but moving, and then halfway through there's going to be people who've gone out too fast, then you just have to stay concentrated, like picking. What's the easiest way to determine your max heart rate? Who cares? Like, just see what you do it in a race. But like, if in a race it was 185 and it's actually 190, who cares? It's not something you're ever using, so it doesn't actually matter what your max heart rate is. What do you think of that, Will? Racing, following pace or heart rate, or what do you do?
To be honest, and again, I'm predominantly 5K. I'd look at neither.
Yeah,
I
I'm the same. Yeah.
I'd be more so off effort as well, to be honest. And I
Yeah.
have, don't get me wrong, I've had races where I've went off pace as well. Um, and I don't know, I just find exactly, look, you could be on a course and it could be a little bit downhill the first K. And if you look at the watch and let's say, like it's happened to me before, I'm 7, 8 seconds up on a K and I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
like I've already cooked myself. This is the end of my PB gone out the window. So, I mean, of course,
Yeah. Or you slow down too much
or
then.
you slow down too much, and exactly the
You-
next K is just completely off, and you're left in no man's land, and the group is gone as such that you were with, you know.
Yeah. 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 That's, yeah.
But of course, it depends on the distance as well. I mean, like I think for 5K or 10K, it's probably easier to go off effort. I can understand for a half or a marathon, you're probably going to feel quite. You should feel fresh in the early stages. So, possibly pace for half marathon or marathon, but heart rates, I never go off, to be honest, just because I think there's so many variables as well on race day that heart rate can be all over the place, whether it's nerves, how much caffeine you've taken in. I mean, the adrenaline is going to be absolutely flying. So
Yeah.
I definitely never be taking heart rate into consideration, not on race day anyway.
Yeah. Like heart rate has to go out the window.
Yeah.
There's no break in the race, James, either. So, um, like even for marathon heart rate, like we say it's 2.2, but what's going to happen is your marathon heart rate's the average. And that's fine when we're doing 7-minute reps or we're doing 10-minute reps or even 20-minute reps because we're just trying to get used to that. But the way it actually goes is like it'll be 10 miles below heart rate. It'll be a few at heart rate, and then it'll be the last 6 will be going up 1 or 2 beats above marathon. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's the same with a race. It's like, don't look at your heart rate. We use the heart rate to kind of establish a feel, like to get used to that. Trust, like people need to trust themselves way more in races. Like, I think people are always worried about. Will, this is great having you on, man. I find it's a lot easier. So, but people I think are always worried about like go like either not getting enough out of themselves. I think they're like, oh, but what if I go too easy and then I have so much left and I'll be kicking myself. It's like it doesn't happen. Like if you're feeling good halfway through, you'll pick it up. Like you'll naturally be keeping it going. Like I helped pace my brother to sub 20 minutes, which is his first time in the streets of Kilkenny for a 5K, and like we were it's a downhill start, so it's like you're getting out. I was like, stay relaxed, but he was maybe 4 or 5 seconds, I'd say 5, 6 seconds up at the first K, and then he's kept it 4 minutes, 4 minutes. One of the Ks was a bit hilly, so he was like 4:05 on like the fourth K. And then the last K, I was like, man, you do this one time. And now he's taken and he hit like a 240, or sorry, a 340 K. So 20 seconds off for the last K. So like you might think, oh well, he's gone too easy and he could have got more. It's like, well, we got a lot back in that last K anyway. So the body naturally, it's great if you can pace it evenly, but like don't worry about it. It's like if you have a lot left, you'll be sprinting at the end. And the worst case, then you'll just use that for the next pace. It's like, okay, next time I'll kind of go out roughly at this pace. Yeah. Does that make sense, James? You're just on mute. Maybe it wasn't your question. So
Yeah, that was it. Thanks.
great. Short and sweet. All right, great stuff. Yeah. So yeah, just trust yourselves, guys. That's what I would say for anyone here. Try leave the paces. Like if you're going out at like thresholdy type pace, whenever in sprinting, you'll get into a natural rhythm. You can use your watch as a guide to go like, I want to be roughly here, and then pick it up, slow it down from that. Look, and then at the end of the day, if you go too slow or go too fast, it's a learning like as well. So,
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and then last question is, and then before we'll go on to, I keep getting like ATFL, which is an ankle injury. I got the first one in November, 2 weeks before a goal 26K trail race. It seems to get sore the day after runs rather than a sudden pain on the run. I had a very good 10-week block, put down 50 to 60K per week with lots of hilly trail running for the long run at the weekend. I was able to do the race and I did well. Well done. I got the same injury last week, now on day 5. Can't pinpoint what exactly caused it. I've been doing lots of single leg balance work and lots of ankle stability and mobility work, and I've built the mileage very slowly. Elevation of the hilly runs up very gradually. Is there anything I can do to stop this reoccurring? Look, you're doing a lot of the right stuff with your balance work and your mobility work around the ankle. Wear your compression bandage after. The only thing I think you're missing is I would get a skipping rope and start adding in like not now when it's a bit sore after this, but add in a skipping rope or like deliberate hop soft landing. When you're going over trails on your ankle, it needs that kind of plyometric strength because it's going to hit and you need to be able to come off it quickly. So the balance work is great, the mobility work's great, but you also need that ability to like flick back off it and like for the ankles to be very reactive. So 20 double leg, 10 single leg, 10 single leg, then 1 2 1 2 being 1 2 2 3 3 up to, and then do like 3 reps of that. I think that's the only thing I'd add. I think that plyometric hopping and landing would be really good for the ankle, and I think that would help it. Okay, great. Now, flew through. So do we have, yeah, hey
Can I
Larry,
ask a question?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you know me and my perpetual hamstring problem.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the rehab program that I did last year. And so it's kind of set up at 3 phases with 3 weeks per phase. So I did all of phase 1. I took 1 week off when I went on holiday. I did all of phase 2. And now I'm starting on the phase 3 this week. And it's
Okay.
basically 2 approximately 1-hour sessions a week focused on hamstring kind of work. And then I do the Pilates on top of that. And it's not getting worse, but it doesn't feel a whole lot better either. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
able to up the weights, so I'm obviously improving, but I'm just wondering at what point, like, should it start to feel like it's going away, or is it just going to perpetually always be sore to sore? Um,
So when you're saying you're doing an hour, is it like, so what are you doing in that? Single leg deadlifts?
Yeah, so for
Deadlifts.
example, today was regular RDLs plus Bulgarian split squats, hip raises, like with your back up on a chair with weight on top.
Yeah, kind of hip
These are all
thruster
with
one.
weights. Yeah, hip thruster. Yeah. Hamstring sliders, where you're up on a bridge and you let your legs
Legs
go out
roll
really
out. Yeah.
slow. Yeah. Sit to stand on one leg kind of thing, holding a weight. So you go down really slowly, you touch the chair and you come back up.
And when you say it's like, when will it go? Is it, it's not getting better? It's not sore walking, it's just sore running, is it?
Yeah, like I don't notice it so much soreness running until I'm finished. And I'm walking up the steps. Like there's a set of stairs I take up after the end of my run to get back home. And I'll notice if I'm walking up the stairs that lifting my leg up to the kind of perpendicular position will make it feel a bit tight. Then it goes away. But when I'm doing, say, these, particularly the Bulgarian split squats, when I'm down in the squat, it's sore on that right side. Like I don't know if I'm putting too much weight when I do it. Maybe I should try a little less weight.
Look, your one is tricky, Laurie. Instinctively, like I can only say like instinctively, like, yeah, I would probably go with this phase 3 heavy. I think then like when you'll start seeing like, I think it might be just like the stress is a lot on the hamstring, and maybe it's a
Yeah.
good way to like, okay, we're going to really strengthen it and get it moving. And then I feel like if you went into like a maintenance phase, I feel
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so look, I would stay doing that guy's plan or whatever
Mhm.
for another like 3-4 weeks, and so then it's like, look, I'm super strong, I'm doing all these, and then I'd probably come back to maybe doing a maintenance of that, like maybe 60% of that. And
Okay.
I think then less might be more. Do you know, like,
Yeah, because I think the other problem may be that I was doing 3 runs per week when I was doing all this, but a couple weeks ago I went up to 4. And so to do the 4 runs plus the 3 strengths, I needed to do a run and a strength on the same day. And the
yeah,
2 times I've done that, I felt wiped out afterwards. And then last week I stupidly crammed all that in and did 2 cross-country skiing days. So I think that's
yeah.
why today I was a bit on tired.
It's hard to know why you be sore, Laurie.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the load
Yeah.
is like, well, one definitely, like, you can't be increasing more than one thing at a time. And that's a good lesson for everybody. Like if you want to do more, because I do get this a lot where people are like, they see the Pilates and are like, it's good for injuries, which it is. And then they're like, oh, I want to get ready for a marathon and I've got these injuries. And it's going to be hard to increase your mileage and fix this injury, So it's like, yeah, it's the same. It could be like, let's just keep the running the same while we're doing this, or pull back on this a little bit, get up to 4 days running. Like either could work, but I don't think you
Yeah.
can increase the stress both ways.
Yeah,
Instinctively
I
for
thought,
me, oh, go on, sorry.
sorry. I was thinking what I would do, especially since like right now our weather here is just awful, like -20 wind chill temperatures.
Jesus.
Oh,
So I don't really want to be out 4 days a week right now.
Yeah.
So, in fact, my next question was the next week or two of my plan, I'm supposed to do, well, four, but I'm going to cut one out, but 3 runs that are about an hour apiece. And I do not want to be out for an hour and when it's -23, -24 out Celsius, So
Yeah.
how little can I get away with? It's still
Get away
not
with a
like,
lot. Like I was going to literally chat about that next. Like I'm doing a bit of the high rock stuff, and like that, it was lashing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the gym, and I did a little bit of ski erg and 30 minutes of a run and 30 minutes of like cross training.
okay, because I don't have a gym I go to, but I've got a recumbent bike in the basement. But the problem with that is, I read somewhere, somebody told me that you should do like 1.5 times on the bike to make it the
No,
equivalent
like,
run.
yeah, you are
But I
meant
don't
to
want
do
to do an
that.
hour and a half on the bike. Like that really kills my hamstring. Actually, doing an hour and a half on a recumbent bike, it's too repetitive in
Yeah,
a weird
yeah.
way.
No, like I would do the 3, and then it's like, even then, if it's like I would cut them down. Like sometimes it's like it's not going to stay this miserable for long. It's like the end of January, what, get February, like you can build it
Can
up
be.
more. How long can it last till March?
It can last till March here, but usually this is unusually cold, so it may warm up to -5, which would be awesome.
-5, no, yeah. Just for
It's
Irish
warm.
people, right? We're on the same latitude as them. So for global warming, if we ever lose that, like the Gulf of Mexico, like that Gulf Stream, that's ours. So like let's cut down the emissions. We can't have this.
Yeah,
I can't go to -20.
it's brutal, I tell you.
Like struggle with 5 degrees. So no, yeah, I would definitely cut one of the runs out. And then if you're down for like a 60-minute run, like could you do 30 minutes on it and then the recumbent bike and maybe like 10 minutes of kind of like HIIT exercises, like kind of core work with like that little bit more intensity. If you look at Pilates circuit, yeah, like if you're just hitting 60 minutes of work, I think there's no issue. Like you'll transfer it over quite quick.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Does that make sense? So yeah, look, when will you feel a difference in the hamstring? I think it'll be when you drop back. It sounds like you're doing a really intense part, and maybe then, yeah, take the running a little bit easier for now and go, look, we're going to go harder on the hamstring, knowing it's really like, because you're still stressing the hamstring a lot, like, which is stressing the tendon. And
Yeah.
then I think it's trying to find like a maintenance phase of like about 60% of that, and maybe if it's on 3 days, doing it 2 days, 2 days of 60% of that would be loads. And then
Yeah.
with the running, only do 3 days. Do not be upping your running. And even then, just with the way the weather is, if you could do like 10 minutes on the bike to warm up, do 30 minutes outside, and then do 10 minutes to cool down, and then do 10 minutes of like, look up our Pilates circuits, like just do 10 minutes of that,
Yeah.
like 3 exercises quickly, back to back,
Okay.
and that'll definitely be as good a workout as a 60-minute run.
Okay. Perfect. Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Anything on that, Will? I know you've had a few injuries yourself, so
yeah. To be honest, it sounds like, I mean, you're doing everything right with regards to rehab. But yeah, I definitely agree in the sense that maybe you could do it backing off with the running a little bit, to be honest. Like, I mean, the one positive thing is it's not getting any worse, and it sounds like you have increased the load in a couple of areas over the last couple of weeks. So I mean, like that is quite quite a good sign. Like, I know personally myself, when I've had a couple of injuries, I've tried a lot of alternative cross training methods like elliptical and biking, and sometimes I think you can actually become so fatigued from them as well that it takes away from your recovery a bit as well. Like, you know what I mean? The body still needs to be able to adapt and recover. So yeah, I'd be saying if you're increasing anything, any stimulus, it should always be one thing at a time. For that's even for without anyone doing, anyone coming from injury, like yeah, I'd be saying back off the running and keep your rehab going and see how it feels then. And I think exactly a maintenance phase after that would probably be the best way to go before you get back onto your 4 days a week you're running. And I mean, if there's any intensity as well, maybe a little drop in intensity could actually help. But you probably actually won't lose much fitness if you're doing exactly what Owen is saying. You could still do the equivalent of 60 minutes, whether that's through HIIT or something as well. Like, I'd be surprised if you were to lose much fitness. It's more so you're probably going to be maintaining rather than gaining as much, but that's even a great thing. Like,
okay, yeah. I mean, all the runs so far have been easy runs. Haven't in a
Okay.
couple of weeks, I'm supposed to start doing a few strides if all is well, but
okay,
we'll see. It depends if it's icy out. I'm not going to try doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's cold.
So all I need to do is wipe out.
Yeah. Well, even like getting the grip on the ground, I find that's hard for the pelvis. So no, and that I asked Will on to co-host these because like we were on a chat and we were talking about that. Like, so it's a good segue to what Laurie was talking about there, was with the cross training. When do you do cross training? So if you have an injury, when should you start looking at the bike or the elliptical or like whatever else people are doing, a row or whatever, like even like any of them, swimming. And it's funny, he said the same thing. And I was like, I think I've mentioned this. I know it's like, oh, I have the exact same thoughts on that. So the first is, if you're injured, you said it there, Will, like you should be focusing on one thing at a time, like focus on the rehab.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, like, because you were saying the same. I'm like, people are like, oh, how much like bike, or sometimes remember, if you're getting an injury or illness, what are they normally? It's an overload of your system. Now it could be
Yes.
for a number of reasons, but like a lot of times it's like you've been pushing hard, you're doing more than you're used to, or you're doing a lot, and your body's breaking down. It's either going to break down because you get to sickness, or it's going to break down with an injury. So if the load kind of exceeds your capacity, people are like nearly straight away thinking about how to rip. Oh, I was doing this run, now I'll do this bike. And it's like, kind of take the hint of like, you need like a bit of rest or recovery to allow your body to recover. So like, I think like I don't know how many weeks you think, Will. I'm always like, if it's a 3 week injury, even, I'd be like I'd actually do no cross training.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I mean, a lot of people get onto me as well, and they're like, how can, what can I do for recovery? What more can I do for recovery? And I'm always more inclined to say, well, what can you actually take out of your day?
Yeah.
That's probably actually impacting your recovery. You know what I mean? Whether that's eating junk food or staying up really late at night, like, we're always inclined to actually add more. And especially, like you say, at the time during injury, the case is we probably actually have to back off, because in some way, now sometimes it can be unlucky, of course, but sometimes exactly injury generally comes from an overload on the body. So I mean, the signs are there to back off and just focus on your rehab. Like, I think cross training can be an absolutely great tool in the sense that, let's say you're running 3 or 4 days a week and you want to start running 5. Well, maybe you might start adding 3 or 4 days of running a week and then just add one cross training day. And then maybe in 2 weeks' time, we'll swap that for a running day. But to be honest, yeah, no, if you're injured, like, rehab should be your number one priority. And if you're doing so much cross training that you're so tired to do your rehab, well, I mean, it's very simple that it's definitely taken away from your recovery process. Like,
yeah, and I'm probably biased in that. I had an injury, like a shin splint injury, when I was younger. I went to college, and like that, I was like, oh, I need to keep my fitness. And I was on the bike, and I was out for 4 months. And like the bike fitness, you're not ready to just, some people are, but I wasn't ready just to jump off the bike. I had to then go through like a big thing to get back to running fit. And I always thought it's like if I just had have done my rehab, took a day rest in between each one, rather than going rehab into a bike, then bike the next day, then rehab and bike the next day, one rest day. If I had gone rest day, rehab, I'm allowing so much more like energy and recovery. And I probably would have been back in like say 6 to 8 weeks because I'm not like putting it, because I used to come off the bike sometimes like, oh yeah, like Laurie is saying there, like, oh, I'm doing the bike, but it's like actually hurting my thing. I'd be the same. It's like that's hurting my shin. I can really feel that. And I'm like, I'm not letting myself recover, get the energy back into my body, and I'm not like letting this chill out. So I think when you're actually in the acute phase of an injury that you've stopped running, like, yeah, focus on the rehab and focus on extra rest days. And then, as you said, where to put cross training is, I've had a bit of a stress reaction on my foot. I went doing kind of high rock stuff, but now I'm coming back into running. I find now is the time, as you said, where cross training is quite good. It's like if you're 4 days running, do an extra day here. Or I don't want to, I did a run today, like a running session today. So tomorrow I might do a run, and then say the next day I normally try to do like something a bit more intense. I might just do like the ski erg and cross train, like a little bit of a gym, a bit more intense gym for 30 minutes and a 30-minute run. Because I don't want to go straight up to 60-minute run, 60-minute run. So I can do 30 minutes now, 30 minutes run. It's building fitness again. And it's allowing me to slowly build back up to the running I've had while gaining that fitness. Is that because you were kind of saying the same, Will? You were like, you just mentioned it there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd agree totally with that. I mean, like, I think as well when a lot of us get injured, um, I mean, it might be our source, like me and you on the weekend. I mean, it's such a nice way to get to chat. Um, so you want to keep exercise in some form or another. So sometimes we can think, we'll try replicate the cross training, as the same sort of exercise so that we feel more productive, I suppose. But I mean, if you're doing your rehab and you've seen a physiotherapist or you're on Owen's plan to get back from injury, you're doing everything you can as it is. Like, and I mean, you know, you're probably on the right trajectory, and doing more cross training and biking is probably going to take away from that in a sense, especially if you're trying to replicate exactly what you're doing, running wise. It's just, yeah, it's not, like I said, if you're doing your rehab, you're probably on the right course. So I think it's a matter of having a little bit of patience and yeah, accepting that this is where I'm at right now. This is the process I have to go through.
Yeah, because it's like the same when you're sick. It's like, or with injured, it's easier. It's like, okay, what's the goal? Sometimes people are like, oh, I'll go back today. It's like, well, what's the goal? If the goal today is, can I be healthier tomorrow? Well, do whatever you can today to be healthier.
Yeah.
So again, it's like when I'm fit, it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to put on weight or whatever, but like if you're doing your rehab and you're doing maybe gym, you're not going to put on much weight. If you're doing like, do some of the gyms in our routine, or if you do some of the gyms Will would give you, like, you're not going to put on weight. Like, you're still working hard, you're sweating, um, you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna have that time for the body to recover. So sometimes like, oh, what's the goal? Well, if the goal is to run better, the goal is to recover, well then do the things that help. It's not like to be, oh, I'm going to get fit and recover. Nearly like as Laurie's saying, it's like, let's make the goal right now to really kind of work on this hamstring in our downtime, so that when March and April comes around, it's like the hamstring's more under control and I can hold back a lot of the rehab I'm doing and focus more on the running. Great. Okay. And then the last thing, I think there was there three things I put in that little voice note here. The second thing was, guys, I'm getting ready, because I was getting ready for this high rocks plus my running is coming back. I was like really conflicted this week of like what to do. Like today I was like, do I do a kind of run high rock session or just do my normal run session? And I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And like, if you're in my head, it's like a game of freaking tennis or whatever, just going back and forth. And I just did a running session in the end, and like it's on the it's on the Blueway, which is a kind of cycle track by the river down in Waterford. And honestly, it's like it had been lashing all morning. So the sun had come out, no rain. So you're getting a peach of a day then when you could have just been killed. And I was just like, the thing that hit me in my head was, don't let goals in running blind you from the joy of running. What I mean by that was like, I was on my last rep and I had like I think it was like Amber's, Schoolyard Day song. And like, you're looking at the river. I'll post up a picture of it. Like, but you're looking at the river and it's like, this is just amazing to be out running now, enjoying the weather, enjoying the views. And like, who cares about this? Like, if I'm going to go back to running or high rocks, like I'm getting fit. If I had done the high rock session, it would have been fine as well. Kind of like we're saying to Laurie. So sometimes I feel like with Mike as well, like it's good to have goals, but like sometimes we can be doing the sessions and all we're focused on is like, this is going to help me with this next race. Whereas sometimes it's good to just take a step back and like, if you can, like just enjoy the moment for what it is. That it's like, Jesus, isn't like even like for Mike, like, isn't it great you can go over to Seville and like run around crowds and have something to like enjoy? Like, oh, Jesus, I could just be sitting on a couch. No one would give a shit if I was doing this race or not. But I'm here, I'm pushing myself, I'm trying for these things. Like, it's great to hit the goals, but I think sometimes if you can always just get like a snapshot or you're doing a session and it's like, God, this is lovely to be out and be fit and healthy and active. And yeah, goals can sometimes blind us because I was just running and it was like, there's none of that. It was just like, what's the end goal? And I felt like halfway through, maybe because of endorphins, I was able to like take the blinkers off and just go, God, it's actually just lovely to run faster, have this view. Aren't I so lucky it's not raining? And I think, yeah, I was like, it can blind you sometimes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. This is something I talk a lot about with people as they're progressing throughout the years. But like exactly, I think goals, like, they should guide a direction and not a destination, in the sense that a lot of the
I
times
love that, man.
if we're getting out for runs on a daily basis, and now the only reason again that I've gone through this myself, you know what I mean, where you're getting out for a run every day and all you can think about is that race or that specific time that you have in your head. But like, we're looking for progress on a daily basis, not perfection. And what happens is when you're so fixated on that, let's say, race that's 2-3 months away, when something does come up like a little niggle, you get absolutely completely overwhelmed because you're 2 months away and you're like, this is the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah,
Rather than
I need to do this today so I can do this
Exactly.
next week so I can do this the following
Exactly.
week. Yeah.
Like, I have guys talking to me, we're doing a session today and they're on about like how hard we're going to hit the session next week because it might be, a hard workout before the race. It's like, just do your session today. I mean, if you get through that, that's great. We're progressing. Let's worry about today. We'll get this done and we'll go tomorrow. Like, I feel like, yeah, I've personally got very caught up on end goals myself before, and realistically to do absolutely nothing for you. Again, they're guiding a direction, but if you think that you're going to get there and that it's going to be all over anyways, it's probably not, 'cause you're going to have another goal picked out anyway a couple of
Yeah.
months down the line. So it's more about, I agree 100%, actually enjoying your running on a daily basis and finding a way to enjoy your run on a daily basis. Like, I mean, whether that's switching up your runs, going to different places, parks. Like, I see people sometimes and they just go for easy runs. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, but around lane 8 of a track, like, I mean, go somewhere enjoyable. Go to a park, go to a
Yeah.
canal somewhere, like you're saying. Switch it up for yourself. Of course, it's boring when you're going to the same place absolutely every day, you know?
Yeah, and as I said, I think like try remember all the like key things that you're getting. What was that line again? So a goal should help form
Goals should help, yeah, guide a direction, not a destination.
guide the direction. And I feel like with that, guys, it's like thinking about like, okay, I'm healthier now than I would. I'm fitter than I would. Maybe I'm making better like choices. Like I go to bed early. I'm not drinking as much. Like I find it like even with that higher, it's more, I don't know, I'm more aware of it now for the goals because I had that little bit of an injury, but I could still train basically. Um, like as I said, out with the lads, training and running with them, like enjoying like just the actual run and chat if it's in the gym with some of the guys, if it's running with the other guys, of like, this is amazing to be able to do this. Or even on my own today, it's like listening to music, seeing the view. It's like I think sometimes if you think of all the things you can get out of it, it means that it's less like table stakes, because as Will says, like, you'll run this time, there'll be a buzz, and sure, next week you'll be on to the next one, which is great as well to have these, because it's lovely to have like goals and pursuing things, but even like enjoying it for the pursuit of it. It's like, isn't it great that I get to fly to Seville and I get to, you know, experience a kind of like big race and have the nerves on the line. Yeah, so I think that is, yeah, I love that line. It should determine the direction, not the destination. It shouldn't be like, I need to hit this to be happy. And it's that thing I've said before, the Japanese, like, the day you cease to travel is the day you arrive. It's like sometimes getting in. Brilliant, yeah. Mike loves that advice anyway, Will. That's a good one sending off. Christ, that was brilliant. Will, thanks so much for coming on.
Don't be silly. Thank you so much for having me.
The Will to Run is your...
The Will to Run is the business name.
Yeah, and is that your... what's your Instagram, or how do you want to
it's actually _, the Will to Run _. The Will to Run was taken, so I had to put 2
underscore, and that's the way we say the, like THE.
Yeah.
It's not just a D. Classic. But again, hopefully we'll be back next week. Laurie, I'll just reach out as well, because if people have any, are you around next week, Laurie?
Yeah.
Great. I'll bring that question, just maybe a general one. We might start, Laurie, on a general one on like diet. Will, you can chip in as well.
Yep.
Just general diet. I might try like track what I eat in a day just to kick it off. And then we might ask Laurie about creatine. And if people have any nutrition questions next week, we'll do it. And again, she's a dietitian, not a sports nutritionist, as she always likes to point out. But
I'm a nutritionist. I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm a nutritionist, but not a sports nutritionist.
She's a nutritionist, not a sports nutritionist, but she's the one I go to all the time. So if you've got advice off me, it's usually me panic texting Laurie to be like, here, what the hell do we say here? Brilliant. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
You
Take
too.
care.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye.